forgot I got his offer in my pocket still. You wouldn't blame me if you heard what the red man had to sell. And Mama told me if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Hello everybody out there in the wind world, this is Kevin Mumphrey once again, and we're in Murfreesboro doing another artist spotlight on guitarist, singer, and songwriter Hunter Lyons. How are you doing?
Doing great, man. Thank you for having me.
What was first, writing or the guitar?
Guitar was first for me. Yeah, my dad was a guitar player, so I started playing about 8 years old just to kind of be like him, and over the years just kind of kept falling more in love with that, and then the songwriting came at about 14.
So at what point did you kind of get to the point where you were like, oh yeah, I'm good at this guitar thing?
I probably thought I was good at it when I was 11 or 12. I really started taking it seriously then, but when was I actually good at it? Probably around high school. I started playing live shows around high school, so we'll say that.
Okay. It's a lot of practice involved. So yeah. What made you go from just guitar to saying, okay, I want to write songs?
For me, it was kind of the emotional connection to it, you know. Starting out on guitar was really just because I wanted to be like my dad, and then as I started playing that, I kind of got more emotionally invested with it, and then I started singing a little bit other people's stuff, you know, as playing, because that gave me a different kind of feeling than just the guitar parts. And then once I got into both of those, I thought, well, I kind of want to be the person that creates the whole thing, you know. And then when I started doing all three parts, the kind of whole emotional ball, if you will, came together, and that really got me immersed in the whole thing.
So do you like kind of make the song with the guitar first before you write, or do you write it first and then just try to guitar it from there?
It depends on the song. Most of the times I start with the guitar. Most of the times it's a feeling that I get, or I get inspired by something, and then I sit down and start playing and find something that I like there musically, and then I'll start putting a little bit of story and a little bit of melody over top of that.
Now, originally you said from Pennsylvania, so what made you leave Pennsylvania to come down to Music City?
I left Pennsylvania after I graduated school. I grew up in Mechanicsburg, which is right in the center, kind of a smaller town, and then I went to Millersville University up there, which is a smaller town out by Lancaster. I went to music school there, and then after I graduated, I just wanted to get out. I wanted to see someplace new and someplace with a little bit more music scene, and Nashville was a place I'd been to a couple of times growing up, and it just had a really rich kind of country music scene and some other music scenes, which was interesting to me, so I chose here to come.
So now a lot of musicians like to come here, so I know they say that they take a visit and then you just don't leave. So what is it about Nashville that's kind of influenced you as an artist?
I think Nashville influenced me as an artist because it's kind of the big city and the small town combined. At least to me. I know it's not really the biggest city, but compared to where I'm from, it's pretty big. And I think inside of that, there's just so many different cultures here, and there's so many different styles too. See, I grew up on rock and roll, country music, pop music, kind of all of it blended together. And then I've played some jazz over the years, and I've played pit orchestra stuff for musicals. So I kind of draw inspiration from everything, and I like that Nashville's got a little bit of a scene in every one of those lanes, so I can kind of keep myself inspired and draw from all those different sides still.
Okay, so now your project you currently have out, Trust in a Stranger. Now, when we were growing up, we were told not to trust strangers, not to speak to them, not even look at them for more than 3 seconds.
That's true.
So what made you entitle your project Trust in a Stranger?
You know, the title was actually the last thing that came from it, and it's a lyric from the very first song. And I think as I was going through picking titles, I was bouncing off different song names and different lyrics, and Trust in a Stranger just had this kind of ring to it because it's kind of the embodiment of this being my first project, my first step out. And you know, I think everybody, when they're finding new music, when they first come across somebody, it can be a little bit difficult for them to latch on or really get into it, because, you know, I don't know this person, I don't know their style, and, you know, I kind of know what I like and I'm gonna stick with that. So when we put that title on, it just kind of fit that, because it was kind of a lyric to the song which was connecting, but also I think was kind of asking people, you know, take a chance on this music, you know, give it a shot and see what you think.
Okay. Now, for other artists who are thinking of doing their own project, this is your leap of faith.
Yeah.
So what would you advise a person who's thinking of putting a project out themselves?
Well, I don't know if I'm much in a position for giving advice, but if I was going to, I'd say just do what you love because you love it. You know, I've found over the years that anytime I tried to do something because I thought other people would like it, or, you know, I chose to play music that I thought other people would be really into it, whether it got a better response or not, it just wasn't as fulfilling to me. And I think if you just stick to what you truly love and you're making music that means the most to you, then people will see that and they'll connect with it more. I hope that's the case, at least.
Now, getting ready to wrap this up, is there anything else you would like to say?
I want to thank you guys for having me out here. I want to thank anybody that's listening for checking out the music. If you haven't heard it yet, you can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, and most of the other platforms under Trusting a Stranger by Hunter Lyons. And you can get physical records on the website as well, if you're still into physical music.
Well, thank you for taking time to talk to us today. I'm Kevin Mumphrey, this is Hunter Lyons, and this is Win Radio.
Thank you, sir.